Hello YouTube, welcome back. I've turned the camera on today to just have a quick flick through of my junk journal, January junk journal. I've been doing this for the whole of the month of January with the challenge prompt from Meg Journals and Get Messy Art. The goal for me, this is the first time I've done junk journal January, and I wanted to, first of all, see whether I could do it, and second of all, to make use of a book that I've just had for a long time. I made this book from a Graze box in probably like 2017, maybe even 2016. So it's been sat around for a while. I made it when I first discovered the junk journal community on YouTube, all of the makers making lovely things, and I put it together, and then I realised that it just wasn't actually compatible with the way that I was journaling. So it's just been sat there waiting in the hopes that at some point I would suddenly have a flash of inspiration and decide that I knew how I was going to use it. And I mean, it's what the Junk Journal January and Junk Journal July challenges are for. So I decided to hell with it, let's give it a go. So as I said, it was a Graze box, which is a snack subscription service. The front was already decorated like this because it was a summer edition, and I just paper mache'd the back with newspaper. Most of the pages are out of like notebooks and school exercise books, and I added lots of pink watercolour, just splodged all over the pages before I started to make it, you know, like a junk journal. We've got an embroidery thread closure, which I'm not currently using and I might replace. But let's have a quick go through the pages, and we'll talk about what I enjoyed, what maybe I didn't enjoy so much, and how I've approached it all. So, first prompt was resolutions. I don't do New Year's resolutions as a rule. I certainly don't share them, so we have I've cut open the envelope that this front page was to use it as a pocket. I've tucked a little bit of notepaper in there with some secret resolutions. Maybe I'll go back and have another look at those later, maybe I won't. Prompt 2 was quote. I've not done all of these exactly in order, so I will start dropping the numbers as we go along, probably. Grandad likes to get out his bingo machine is just something that somebody said in a work meeting, which I enjoyed as a sequence of words. I've stamped that with a stamp set, sort of modular click together stamp set that I got from Flying Tiger. I don't know whether they still have those. It's the sort of thing that they might keep doing or might bring back over and again, but I think I bought mine again in sort of 2016 or so. And I've just added a few stars out of my collage fodder folders. I quite enjoy it. It's simple. I enjoy it. Throwback was day 3. We've got a picture of my 19th birthday party, which is a throwback because it's more than 10 years ago, and the party theme in itself was a throwback because it was kids party themed, which is why the cake is a huge pink fairy castle. I've got a watercoloured fancy frame just behind that, a faux doily of notepaper, and this fabric tab is a bit left over from some fabric that I used for a different project. Daily log, I think, is day 5. I made these little self-care checklists to use in my regular reflective journals, and it just seemed appropriate for this. So I've included 2 days worth of notes on the self-care checklist, a few scrap bits of collage cut out from a wildflower book. This is for the prompt pattern, which is day 14. This is just something that I've been doodling places lately. The cutout bit is from something that I was painting on. The toddler really enjoys doing some painting, and they like to have some company while they were doing it, so that's just what I was kind of doodling on that piece of paper while they were scribbling and splattering away, and it was miraculously intact when the page got torn out of the sketchbook, so I popped it in there because I liked it, and then built the rest of the pattern around it. That wraps around to the back of the next page, which is a memory. I don't really want to get into my rationale behind this, but I have used an old, very, very underexposed Instax print and some sort of found words out of magazines. I like putting together little poems out of these sort of bits of text. Got, I think this prompt is garden. Got the quote, "How do you know there will be flowers? Because I am planting flowers," which is definitely misquoted from a New Year's comic which I've seen go round online in several years, and when I wanted to find it to check that I had the quote correct and so that I could credit the comic artist, I could not find it anywhere. So if that's familiar to you and you know where it's from, please do shout in the comments, and then I can add it to the description and credit the person who came up with that line. We've got a couple of scraps of magazine out of a garden plants catalogue, and a cutout from a plant book. This one is layers. I was doing this while we were having very much a cold snap. I was thinking cozy warm layers. I was kind of intending to maybe do another prompt on top of this and never did, but I'm intending to keep working through some of the old prompt lists in this book, so maybe I'll come back to it another time. I'm really pleased with the combination of colours on this one, and I think this piece of handmade paper I made myself possibly 10 years ago. It's been in my stash for a very, very long time, so I'm pleased to have found a use for even a tiny bit of it. This prompt is foliage. I did this out of order with the next one, which is neutral, mostly because I saw the word neutral on the list and I think I must have gone, "Oh, but I hate beige," and then just completely blanked out that was the day's prompt. So I moved on to the next one and then came back later, realised what I'd done, and had to backtrack. That's fine. Anyway, this is just paper cutout and then some layers of paint and drawing. The sticker is the toddler's, but I think a little Axel Scheffler Snail and the Whale sea snail suits this page perfectly well. So this is what I ended up doing for neutral. As I said, I'm not really into beige. So I thought around the prompt for a little while, and what I came to is that my kind of neutral state for art making, the place I came from, is pencil sketches of flowers. So I dug up a picture of some lady's smock that I would have taken during the summer last year or the year before, and drew from that. I'm quite pleased with it. This one is eclectic. It's just a big collage of bits and bobs. Yeah, I think I tried to focus on things that were in my magazine cutouts folder that I've had for a while and wanted to use up. It would have been lovely to use even more stuff, but they're very small pages, so I did what I could. I crammed as much as I could on. and I quite like it. It's very busy. This is Flow and Whimsical, so there's two days have gone into this one spread. The Flow is the teapot and the flowers. That is very inspired by Johanna Basford's book, How to Draw Inky Wonderlands. Very much recommend that one if you're looking for something to just kind of build your confidence with doodling and drawing. It sort of seems on the surface to be quite a set sort of technique for achieving the results that Johanna does herself in her illustrations, but it's good exercise, and it's really good. It can be turned to your own purposes if you want, or it's just a nice confidence builder, or if you're into sort of Zentangles or colouring books, you can use it in that kind of meditative, not thinking too hard about it kind of way as well. And then Whimsical, we've done a little bit more magazine collage, just, you know, floaty dreamscape kind of thing with all clouds and stuff. This one is Opposites. Yeah, I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. There wasn't a huge amount of thought went into it. I doodled a flower, I cut the flower out and put them opposite each other in a sort of yin-yang kind of way. This, was it day 4 was Tuck Spot, so I've made this kind of origami pocket. We had a day where the prompt was stitching, so I've put some chain stitch, I put it in different directions on either side of the page, so the chain is on top on this side and on the bottom on the other side. Into the tuck I've put some tags. That is for the Torn Edges prompt. Made the tag out of a little scrap of scrapbook paper. We've got a napkin, a couple of bits of tissue paper and a stamp, so we've got a couple of different kinds of torn edge there. I really like how simple that one is, actually. This is for the nature prompt. I've got a little doodle. I don't know whether you'll be able to see the shimmer. Yeah, there we go. We can see the shimmer on that ink there. That is Diamine in Little Pip. I think it's either Little Pip or Little Herbie, but I think this one is Little Pip. And that's on Tomorrow River S paper, which I got a pad of specifically because someone bought me some shimmery fountain pen ink for Christmas and I wanted to use it. So I've just doodled a little bramble on there, cut it out, stuck it onto another tab, and tag even, and then I've written down a bunch of naturey things that we can see locally. So we've got birds, wildflowers and trees. And that tucks in there. And then for peeking out, which was like day 21 or something, I've made a tiny little kitty cat and its feet are cut out of the rest of it so that it can tuck over the top of the pocket there and peek out of it. That is the borders prompt. Bring that a bit closer because it's really teeny tiny. It's just some sort of swirly, rococo-y froth. And then bookshelf. Some pieces out of the scrap folder, lined up, little doodly detail, like a bookshelf. And then we do have a very sparkly one in there, utilising one of my favourite things that I don't do very often because it's not always appropriate for what I'm trying to do, where you stick glitter to a piece of double-sided sticky tape. I find it's a really useful way of applying a bit of glitter to something, even though it is quite limited to the shape of your double-sided sticky tape. Then we've got interactive. I've made a little shower curtain out of some patterned tissue paper, and it is on a piece of card so that you can tuck aside the curtain very carefully, and reveal that I've just chucked a little sticker collage behind it. This one is texture. I think this is probably the page that I'm least happy with. I think it shows that I was doing it at about 10 p.m. at night after struggling to get the toddler to go to bed. But whatever. Then we've got fabric. This is a piece of t-shirt that I was using as a test dye for another project. So I've just clipped a tiny bit out, stitched it into the page and stuck a flower on it. On the back of that we've got our prompt for translucent. Bring that a little bit closer. There is a secret message under there which you may or may not be able to read. Anyway, I've cut out a piece of scrapbook paper in the shape of a Polaroid frame, and then I layered up a bunch of translucent elements in it. So we've got some tissue paper, we've got washi, we've got a couple of see-through stickers, and then a couple of pieces of scrap silk. Bought a little bag of silk scraps from a local silk mill several years ago. It was while we were wedding planning, so probably 2018 or so. And I really like how the fabric pieces interact in this. I really like the depth of it. And then that's a flip so that you can reveal the secret message. This one is ombre. It's slightly marred by some ink spots showing through from the page behind. I couldn't think of anything. I googled the term ombre. All of the first page of results were dyed hair, so we have a mermaid with a dyed hair fade. Lyrics. This is from Hurricane Party by Dessa. Then we've got geometric. I've got a whole stash of hand-carved stamps, so the hexagons and the Pandora's box print are both stamps that I've carved myself, and then I doodled a snowflake and added a little bit more definition to some of those boxes. Grunge. I was thinking of the sort of fashion that's typically associated with grunge music more than anything else. So all of this stuff is secondhand and recycled. None of it is purpose bought. And then just biro doodles, as a grunge kid might add to their notebook. Travel, again, we've got a couple of my hand-carved stamps. We've got a little bit of packing paper, a little sort of decorative piece of paper, and a quote. It's nice to travel. You do take yourself with you. And then finally, reflect. I've written up a bunch of things about what I did with the challenge, what's included in the book, and then I've made myself a little scrappy black mirror to go on top of it. Originally that flipped out, and then I realised that actually the tape was covering most of the writing anyway, so I might as well just stick it down to the page. That's my Junk Journal January 2024. If you've got any questions, do pop them in the comments. I'm so pleased with myself for finishing the challenge. I ended up working ahead a little bit because I knew I was going to have some busy days when I wasn't going to be able to do it. So I finished the challenge about 3 days early, which I'm also really pleased to have been able to do because that takes the pressure off worrying about falling behind. I was genuinely expecting to get like a week in and then be interrupted by something and not be able to get back to it. So I am really pleased to have been able to do it. My plan is to I've printed out a bunch of, did I put them in here? I did. I've printed out a bunch of the prompt lists that I could find from Meg's Instagram and YouTube. It's not a complete set, but I've got 5 of them, so that's a considerable wodge of prompts, which my intention is to continue working through at a slower pace, basically until the book is full, and then I will see if I want to move into another one or not. Yeah, I think my favourite pages are probably the Flow and Whimsical, and the ombre one. I'm not ombre, translucent one. I'm just so delighted with how pretty that is. Yeah, lots of inspiration. I wasn't trying too hard on any of these, so I'm not like so invested in any of them that things not working has got me down. But it was a really good exercise, and I'm really pleased to have used the book and to have used some supplies. So I will probably do one of these again. Any questions you've got, pop them in the comments. Any thoughts, I'd love to hear them. Thanks very much for watching, and next time I post, I'm hoping to put up a Smashbook flip through or 2. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Thanks very much.